Amidst the rising tensions with China, Taiwan has marked its National Day. The self-ruled island's president, Tsai Ing-wen, spoke at the event. She's vowed to not let the guard down against China's aggression. The Tsai Ing-wen statement, of course, comes amidst a spike in the number of incursions that have been made by China into Taiwan's air defense zone in recent days. Self-governed Taiwan's 23 million people live under constant fear of a possible invasion by China, which views the island as its territory and has vowed to one day seize it by force if necessary. Now, taking on Beijing, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen asserted that Taiwan will continue to bolster its national defense and will demonstrate its determination to defend in order to ensure that no one can force Taiwan to take the path that China has laid out. The path that China has laid out offers neither a free nor a democratic way of life for Taiwan, nor does it offer sovereignty for the 23 million people in Taiwan. This is the statement that she's put out. Tsai has described Taiwan as standing on democracy's first line of defense, adding that we hope for an easing of the relations with Beijing and will not act rashly. The more we achieve, the greater the pressure that we face from China. So I want to remind all of my fellow citizens that we do not have the privilege of letting our guard down. There should be absolutely no illusions that the Taiwanese people will bow to pressure. The two sides have been ruled separately since the end of the Chinese Civil War in 1949. Tensions have been on the rise pretty much to their highest levels in several decades under the Chinese President Xi Jinping, who has broken off official communication with Taipei following Tsai's electoral victory 5 years ago. China has also ramped up economic, diplomatic and military pressure on Taiwan. Now, there's been another flare-up with a significant uptick in the number of flights by the Chinese fighter jets and nuclear-capable bombers into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Now, Beijing sent as many as about 150 sorties into the zone in the days surrounding China's own National Day that happened to be on the 1st of October, which is a record number. Last year, there were a record 380 sorties. There have already been more than 600 this year. The Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen has described the situation as more complex and more fluid than at any other point in the past 72 years, further adding that China's routine military presence in Taiwan's air defense zone has seriously affected national security and aviation safety. Xi Jinping has made taking Taiwan a key goal of his leadership, and just yesterday he declared in a speech that he favored a peaceful reunification with Taiwan and did not directly mention the use of force. Now, China has offered a one-country, two-systems model of autonomy to Taiwan, much like it uses with Hong Kong. But all major Taiwanese parties have rejected that. During her National Day address, Tsai Ing-wen reiterated her call for Beijing to engage in dialogue on the basis of parity. She also said that she supported maintaining the current status quo between the two neighbors. But the Taiwanese president has also warned as to what happens to Taiwan will have a major regional and global implications. She said, and I quote, "Every step we take will influence our world's future direction, and also our world's future direction will likewise affect the future of Taiwan itself." All right, now to give us more insights in terms of what's actually playing out between China and Taiwan, we're joined in by our correspondent Patrick Falk, who's joining us live from Beijing. Thank you very much indeed, Patrick, for joining us. Now, Taiwan has celebrated its National Day, and we also heard the president very strongly reassert that Taiwan will continue to remain a sovereign and an autonomously governed state. Now, we've also heard what the Chinese president had to say, where he insisted that Taiwan will be reunited with China, hopefully through peaceful means. What are we to make of this?
Yeah, well, I think that the message that came from President Tsai wasn't just aimed for the people of Taiwan today. It was almost certainly directed at President Xi Jinping after what President Xi said just a day ago. Remember, as you said a moment ago, President Tsai said that Taiwan would bolster its defenses and that it wouldn't accept the path laid out for it by China because it offers neither freedom nor democracy. That was really a response to one of the most tense weeks we've seen in decades between the two sides. Earlier in the week, from October 1st, as you said, there was a series of incursions into Taiwan's air defense zone. Excuse me. And this was followed by the remarks by President Xi yesterday, saying that peaceful reunification would be in the island's best interests. You know, that's almost like laying out the option, saying either surrender or we strike. So that is what President Tsai was responding to. Some people did note that the comments by President Xi were softer than some of the remarks he'd made of late on Taiwan. But at the same time, you know, he certainly didn't mince his words on the importance of bringing Taiwan back into the fold. He said that, you know, this historic task, the reunification of the motherland, must be fulfilled and will be fulfilled, and that people shouldn't underestimate the determination, the staunch determination of the Chinese people to protect its national sovereignty and territory. So he talks about it in terms of it being part of China's destiny and the destiny of the Chinese nation. So both sides have made their positions very clear indeed, I would say.
And also, it is being said that the tensions between Taiwan and China are practically at their very worst in several decades. What is the view within Beijing? Although the choice of words by President Xi Jinping, he said that we want unification with Taiwan, possibly through peaceful means. But in the recent days, we've seen almost about 600 sorties by these Chinese fighter jets into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Are the tensions likely to worsen from here?
Yeah, well, I think we need to look at the reasons why this is all happening right now. You know, these are important days in the history calendar, October 1st being China's National Day, and the country is celebrating its Golden Week holiday. So that's part of the reason why these air incursions took place. Also today, of course, you know, marking 110 years since the anti-imperial revolution began. So that's part of the reason why this is all happening right now, and both sides arguably are posturing to some extent. So in the near term, you might expect things to die down a little bit, but I think the general agreement among experts is that, you know, we are expecting increased threats and shows of military aggression from China, and therefore, you know, the chances of missteps are higher as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Patrick Falk, for joining us and getting us all those updates then. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.